What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Generation Strength YouTube channel. First things first, please make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, whichever side the subscribe button is on, and as always, leave comments and suggestions for future videos that you guys want to see. The more that we know, if we know the kind of content that you guys want to see us put out, makes this easier for us to make videos week to week. Today, we're going to be talking about split squats and how you can implement them into the training. Split squats have been a long-time staple of mine in my programming that I give to my clients, whatever their goals may be. So whether you're a powerlifter, bodybuilder, or just a normal gym goer, we're going to talk about a few different split squat variations that have been staples for me in the training that I give my clients for whatever your goals may be. All right, so the first variation I want to show you guys is going to be a front foot elevated split squat. So we still have the back leg elevated on a bench or a squat stand, whatever you have access to. So if we look at a normal split squat, if we look at what that range of motion looks like, especially at the bottom here, if this was like a powerlifting style competition squat, I'm not below parallel here. So if I'm trying to train to strengthen my competition lifts as a powerlifter, extending that range of motion and getting comfortable and getting stronger in that bottom position, or even past where we're going to be in that bottom position for a squat, is going to be a lot more beneficial than doing an exercise that has limited range of motion. Not that a normal split squat is bad, but we're just trying to make things better, right? If you're a powerlifter, extended range of motion, if you're a bodybuilder, extended range of motion just means more time under tension, makes that exercise a lot more productive. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a couple blocks here, right? And we're gonna set up exactly the same. You can see now how much deeper I'm able to get in this split squat by doing that, right? And the same rules apply that I talked about earlier. Dumbbells out in front of the body if you're trying to bias more towards glutes. Dumbbells closer to the body, kettlebells actually whatever, if you're trying to bias more towards your quads. So elevate your front leg, 2 to 4 inch block, that's all you need. All right, guys, so a quick little side variation to the variation I just showed you is going to actually be a heel float split squat where we're still going to have the lead leg elevated. You don't actually have to elevate your lead leg on a block to do these, it just makes it a little bit easier. So all we're going to do here is we're going to set up our lead leg on a block as if we were doing like a calf raise or using like a calf raise machine of some kind, and the rest of the setup is essentially the same. Now I'm just going to calf raise that leg up into holding this position, and then I'm going to perform my split squats from there. And these are actually really challenging, just body weight only. And you can actually just hold this bottom position here if you want as well, just making sure we're holding that ankle in that position and holding that calf raise position, right? So these are really great for ankle stability and knee health. I give these to a lot of my powerlifting clients. So maybe not necessarily something you need to do if you're a bodybuilder, but if you're a powerlifter and you struggle with ankle stability or forward knee travel in a squat or just knee health in general, these are a great tool to implement into your training. All right, guys, so this next split squat variation I'm going to show you is going to be an offset split squat, or an ipsilateral loaded split squat. I know, super fancy terms that probably don't mean anything to you. All this means is that when we set up, we're going to hold a weight, whether it's a kettlebell, dumbbell, in the opposite hand of our working leg. So this is going to put a lot of emphasis on our adductors to help stabilize our hips during the movement. So if you're a powerlifter and you have weak adductors, or if you struggle with using your adductors to help stabilize your hips, this is a great movement to implement into your training. So pretty straightforward setup, right? What we're gonna do here, set up like normal, right? When I grab this kettlebell, I'm gonna fight the urge to rotate, right? So this movement has a great component of anti-rotation as we're performing it, which is, again, great for a powerlifter, right? Torso stability is really important. So I'm gonna hold this kettlebell here, and I'm gonna hold this close to my lead leg here because we're gonna force some internal rotation, right? We're gonna rotate into this hip a little bit, and then we're gonna come down. Good. So there's a lot of great things about an offset loaded split squat, right? Adductor stability, right? Strengthening internal rotation, and I already said anti-rotation, I think. So I'll say it again, right? Great things if you're a power lifter, great movement to implement into your training. All right guys, so the last variation I'm actually gonna show today is going to be a Smith machine split squat. So contrary to what people might think, or when they initially see a Smith machine being used in training, this could be a great tool whether you're a power lifter or a bodybuilder. So kind of a disadvantage to a lot of movements that we can see in training as powerlifters is the need to establish stability for ourselves, right? If we're doing like an incline bench press or even a split squat, right? The stability demand for those exercises can be challenging for some people. So limiting that stability, right, or taking away that need to establish stability with something that's already in a fixed plane of motion, like a Smith machine, can regress movements a little bit to make them a little bit more realistic for some people to do. And it also allows us to load more weight to the exercise, which depending on what you're going for, depending on what your goals are, being able to load more weight on the exercise while taking away that stability demand can be helpful for a lot of people. So that's why I like doing this with the Smith machine, because I can load a little bit more weight without having to worry about balancing on one leg or holding a kettlebell in one hand or whatever it might be. So you can elevate your trail leg on these. Since we have a fixed plane of motion here with the Smith machine, you don't necessarily have to, and we can still achieve a split squat type motion, essentially. Right? So same rules apply here that we talked about earlier. I can have that leg farther out in front, and I can bend over a little bit more if I want to bias more towards my glutes and hamstrings, or I can put that leg closer, right? I can stay more upright, and I can push that knee forward to bias more into my quads, right? There's a lot of applications, whether you think about it or not, if you want to use the Smith machine for a split squat variation, whether you're a bodybuilder or a power lifter, just depends on what your goals are.